In this short video, I'm going to introduce you to Trade Unafraid. Trade Unafraid is a powerful, unique trading platform that uses automation to allow you to trade with more discipline, more speed, less emotion, and to do all of that on multiple trades at the same time. At the heart of Trade Unafraid are trade plans. A Trade Unafraid trade plan is not something as simple as setting a target and a stop. Those are like stone tools. Trade Unafraid gives you surgical instruments to manage a position with great sophistication. One of the foundational concepts underlying Trade Unafraid is that of soft orders. As we all know, you cannot place exit orders that exceed your position. If you have 100 shares, you cannot place both a stop order and a trailing order, each for 100 shares. But with Trade Unafraid, you can set up any number of soft orders for a variety of objectives, and Trade Unafraid will manage those seemingly contradictory soft orders, without your broker ever rejecting an order because you've exceeded the size of your position. This allows you to have a stop loss, a trailing candle stop, a stop that detects a reversal of a candle, and another one that will protect your winning position from becoming a loser. Aside from the fact that your broker can't do most of these things anyway, your broker would never allow you to have exits that add up to 4 or 5 times your position size. Soft orders allow Trade Unafraid to give you maximum agility without the limitations imposed by the exchange. On top of all of these tactics, you always have the ability to click a button and take an action, either modifying a configuration or placing a manual order. Gone are the days of having to adjust your existing order so that you can take some profit. You simply click a button and the entire position, along with all of your various orders, adjust to compensate for the manual action you took. It's fast, easy, and profitable. Trade Unafraid gives you discipline through automation. As experienced traders know, and as beginning traders learn the hard way, trading is more about psychology and discipline than strategy. By creating a trade plan in advance, and then having a machine execute that trade plan on your behalf, you are able to take the human element out of the equation. The machine does not hesitate. It does not break its own rules. It does not suffer with hopium. Rather, the machine follows the rules with perfect discipline, and with reaction times that no human can match. Perhaps most importantly, Trade Unafraid allows the trader to cover far more ground than anyone can do on their own. For an experienced, successful trader to juggle many charts and multiple positions, a great deal of energy and focus is required. With Trade Unafraid, many more charts and positions can be monitored and managed without breaking a sweat. The ability to duplicate oneself and trade more opportunities, perhaps at the same time, gives the trader more efficiency with less effort and less stress. This allows the law of large numbers to impact your trading results at a much higher rate. Your trading becomes a profit assembly line where multiple opportunities are taken with ease, the losers are discarded quickly and without drama, and the winners are allowed to work. Let's take a closer look at some of the unique features that make Trade Unafraid so powerful. We'll begin with setups. The current list of setups includes a wide variety of strategies. Some are simple, like break and bounce, which can be used to simply enter a trade if a given price is reached. Break expects the price to continue in the same direction, while bounce is looking for a reversal at that price. Similarly, bounce and break EMA work the same way, except that you do not have to provide a price. You give them a candle duration, say, 5 minutes, and the number of candles for the exponential moving average, and those setups will trigger at whatever price the intersection occurs. ORB is our opening range break setup, where you can wait for price to break out of the range of your choice, be it 1 minute, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, whatever you choose. Conviction candle is a similar idea but looks for a strong candle to lead to follow through once broken. You have the ability to set your candle criteria to exactly what you like. Candle trigger gives you the ability to trigger on the break of some candles high or low, without having to calculate the price. These can be minutes or longer term breaks of daily, weekly, or monthly candles. If you're a fan of the strat by Rob Smith, you're going to love the candle pattern setup. This sophisticated setup lets Trade Unafraid watch for multiple rev strats, continuations, or any other combination of 1s, 2s, and 3s that you like. You can create multiple scenarios and watch for all of them at the same time. In addition to the generic 1, 2, 3 candles, you can specify more precise 2 up, 2 down, 3 up, 3 down, and even fail to break high or fail to break low. As you'll see shortly, these setups can be filtered for time frame continuity as well. The strat is by far our most popular setup, used by many Trade Unafraid traders. The flag setup is used to watch for bull flags, waiting for a series of lower highs and then triggering on the break of a high. Of course, it also works for bear flags, watching for a series of higher lows and triggering on the eventual break of the prior low. Break candle type watches for a sequence of either red or green candles and will trigger when the most recent candle of that color is broken. For example, if you have a series of red 2-minute candles, this setup will trigger when price breaks the high of the most recent red candle. This is a good time to mention that we at Trade Unafraid work closely with our user community to add new features and improve the product. If your favorite setup is not here, please reach out to us, and we will consider implementing it and adding it to the product. Now that we have examined setups, let's look at setup filters. Not every setup occurs under ideal circumstances. You might have price break the high of a red candle, but it occurs below the day's opening range, or below the 80 MA. These might indicate a setup that you do not want to take long. We provide multiple setup filters that will prevent that setup from leading to a trade. Our setup filters currently look at price versus an opening range of your choice. You can filter based on the high or the low of that range. Similarly, you can filter based on an exponential moving average of your choice. You can also filter by time of day. Many traders are aware that there are certain periods that are favorable to trade, while others are not. You can specify a start time and stop time for your trade plans, and setups that occur outside of that time period will not be traded. As we mentioned earlier, we also have a full time frame continuity filter, based on Rob Smith's strat. Your setup will only trigger if the time frames that you specify agree with the direction of the setup. This is probably a good time to mention that a trade plan can be configured to go both long and short, so you can enter in either direction. You can create a strat trade plan to enter on a 312 Chicago with full time frame continuity, and you can do all of that to go either long or short. So you can trade country and western, both long and short, in the same trade plan. Trade plans can be made to repeat, so you can have the same trade plan open and close a trade and then go back to watching the chart for another setup. This can run all day long, watching, trading, repeating that cycle, using the filters that you have specified. And you can do this on dozens of charts at the same time. Once a setup triggers and passes any filters, it is time for Trade Unafraid to enter the position. The first question is, what are you trading? If stock, then it's pretty simple. You just buy shares. If options, then the question becomes, which contract? Trade Unafraid can monitor the option chain and help you select the most favorable expiration and strike, based on your criteria. These criteria include a number of things, including the quantity, spread, price, and dollar allocation. We won't go into all of the details here, but you can specify which expiration or expirations you want to trade. You can specify whether or not to trade options that expire today. You can specify which strikes you are willing to trade. You can also control a range of quantities, a range of prices, or both. You can also put a limit on the size of the spread expressed in cents, a percent of the price, or both. All of these criteria will be considered when the option is selected. If nothing meets all of these filters, then your trade will not enter, protecting you from unfavorable market conditions. Since your setup may trigger at any time, you may not know where price will be at the time of the trigger. Still, you are able to specify that you want to trade the nearest strike to price, either in the money, or out of the money. Even when you make this choice, any filters you have activated will protect you from wide spreads or other position sizing situations that you choose to avoid. You choose your trade size based on either quantity or dollars allocated. When you set that, your entry tactic is set to enter either the quantity or dollars you specify. Your entry can be a simple market order, a limit order, or a candle break, allowing you to see some confirmation before entering. For example, if your setup is based on the bounce off of the 21 EMA, let's say, rather than simply buying at that touch of the moving average, you can enter when price breaks the high of the prior 1-minute candle. We have all seen price drop straight through moving averages. This entry tactic gives you the ability to wait for confirmation of a reversal before putting your money at risk. One other powerful feature of orders in Trade Unafraid is the ability to work an order. By working an order, we mean that, rather than simply buying at the ask or selling at the bid, you have the ability to place a limit order inside the spread and attempt to get filled at a better price. You can specify where inside the spread you want to start, how much to move your price with each quote, and when to give up and pay the market price. For entries, Trade Unafraid will not chase the market. If it moves too much, the trade will be cancelled, rather than getting in after the market has moved away from your trigger. For exits, Trade Unafraid will stop trying to get filled inside the spread and finally take the market price. You have the ability to turn work orders on or off separately for entries and exits. Trade Unafraid does other things behind the scenes to protect you, as well. For example, if you are buying 100 shares, but the ask size of the current offer is only for 50 shares, Trade Unafraid will recognize the inherent risk of a bad fill, and will change your market order to a limit order to make sure you do not get gouged once those first 50 shares are gone. These are the kinds of things that humans can't easily do at the speed required. but that Trade Unafraid can do for you. Next, we come to exit tactics. Exit tactics are a rich set of capabilities that include both take profit orders and exit orders. There are a variety of them, they are dynamic and very powerful. Exit tactics work in 3 domains. First is the price of the underlying stock. Even if you are at an option trade, you have the ability to place orders based on the underlying stock price. The second domain is position price, which will be either stock price for a stock trade or option price for an option trade. You can set some exit tactics to monitor and trigger based on the price of the instrument you are trading, whether stock or option. Finally, there are exit tactics that look, not at stock or option price, but at your position's profit or loss. No one likes to have a winning position become a loser, and exit tactics based on P&L monitor and prevent that. Loss limit is the straightforward way to put a certain amount of money at risk on a trade. If the loss grows to this amount, the position is closed. Unless price simply moves against you, Trade Unafraid trades rarely end up taking this worst-case loss. Typically, other exit tactics will kick in, reducing your loss, before this occurs. Preserve profit is one way to prevent winners from becoming losers. Once you take a profit of a certain amount, either through an automated target being hit, or by manually closing a portion of your trade, this tactic will ensure that your winner doesn't become a loser by closing the position before it gets down to your loss. Underlying price trail and position price trail are what you are used to from your broker. As price moves in your favor, you can trail that price by the amount that you specify. There are at least 2 advantages though, provided by Trade Unafraid. If you've tried to adjust a trailing price at your broker, in order to take a partial profit, you know that you have to basically throw away your trailing stop and start over to reduce the quantity. This is not the case with Trade Unafraid. You can take any profit you like, and your trailing stop order continues without you having to do anything. Secondly, you can trail an option position based on stock price, which is not something most brokers allow. Candle trail is a very popular exit tactic that everyone talks about but no one can do except manually. Until now. Trade Unafraid lets you specify the candle size you would like to trail, and the stop will be adjusted every time a candle of that duration closes. You can specify a break by amount, as well, so that you might decide to give price a little leeway before considering price to have broken the low of the prior candle. It's all up to you. Green to red candles is a way to watch price for hard reversals against you, so that you can exit before things turn ugly. This can protect your profit or greatly reduce your loss, so that you don't have to take your full loss on a position that goes bad. With this exit tactic, you can detect when price retraces the prior candle by some percentage. If that happens, you can exit early and avoid a bigger loss than necessary. Similarly, green to red positions watches your P&L for the same kind of reversal. Once your profit has grown by some percentage that you specify, you can have the position exit before that paper gain becomes a real loss. This profit tracking can be done purely on a paper gain basis, or it can look at the overall profit of the position, taking both realized and unrealized gains into account. The psychological and financial benefit of keeping your losses small cannot be overstated. These tactics protect you from suffering your full loss on a trade that started out going your way. It is also worth pointing out that all of these tactics are optional and configurable to the trader's preference. If you don't like it, you don't have to use it. If you do like it, you can configure it to work the way you want. Break price is a way to identify support or resistance levels, supply or demand zones, and to exit if they fail to hold as expected. Because you don't know what level a trade plan may enter at, you are able to provide multiple price levels to use as exits, and the nearest price will be used as your stop for that position. Grab sense, ratchet brackets, and candle magnitudes are exit tactics that take profits, as well as providing ways to move stops to protect the remaining position along the way. Grab sense does what it sounds like. It simply closes some percentage of the position for a predetermined profit. Multiple levels can be set, and a trailing stop can be included. This is a great tactic for frequent scalping, where you simply try to grab a few cents and maybe hope for a runner for the remaining portion of the position. If you are familiar with OCO or one cancels other orders, ratchet brackets are a dynamic form of OCO. With ratchet brackets, you can set some number of equidistant profit targets based on one of 3 quantity bases, and those orders will be placed. As each target is hit, the stop will ratchet up to protect the remaining position. Trade Unafraid users have universally agreed that they love ratchet brackets. The newest form of ratchet bracket is called the candle magnitude exit tactic. As with ratchet brackets, you can specify a percentage of your position to take profit at each target, but the targets in this case are based on the high, low, or midpoint of prior candles of the size that you specify. For our strat traders, this is the way to trade a pivot machine gun in an automated fashion. As each target is hit, the stop is raised to a prior target, again, protecting the remaining position while still letting the winner run. It should be noted that targets are instantly placed as resting limit orders, not soft orders, so a quick move and reversal has been known to quickly hit targets and get out far faster than any trader could hope to do by hand. Placing these limit orders does not impact the ability to make manual trades that require adjustment. The software takes care of changing the orders, so the trader can do things quickly and easily, and the resting orders adjust without any effort. It all happens instantly and automatically. There is so much more, and more features are on the way. Trade Unafraid is still a very new product with plenty of innovation to come. We have not touched on the ability to save trade plans for reuse, and we have not talked about the ability to share your trade plans with others, so that you can literally import someone else's trade plan and trade their way and every bit as skillfully as they do, simply because the machine does the trading. We have not talked about the powerful manual controls that you get for entry and exit, which still adhere to your filters and option selection and position sizing rules. These controls are so much easier to use than the ones you currently use, because you never have to adjust an existing order to place a new order. All the adjustments are automatic and instant. We have not talked about the architecture. You get your very own server, not a shared machine, located in New York. Your orders are placed from a machine close to the exchanges, no matter where in the world you are located. You can run dozens of trade plans all at the same time. In strat terms, if there is a simultaneous break, you might have many trade plans all trigger at the same moment, and they will all follow your trading rules, without you taking any action. All you have to do is watch and intervene if you so desire. We have not talked about the reporting capabilities, which are already good but will be far more sophisticated in the future. We have not talked about the community of amazing Trade Unafraid traders who share ideas, share trade plans, and provide ideas for new features that we build into Trade Unafraid. As a subscriber, you are invited to join our Discord community and benefit from the professional positive community of great traders using Trade Unafraid. We have not talked about the Trade Unafraid team. We are every bit as much traders as we are software developers. We built Trade Unafraid for ourselves, and we use it every day. We are literally adding new features weekly. As a subscriber, you always have access to the latest version and all the powerful new capabilities. And you have access to the Trade Unafraid team for support, feature requests, and training. At last, you have a trading tool that actually works for you, actively protecting your account, watching for setups that you can't, filtering out unfavorable ones, and monitoring positions for changing conditions. No trading tool has ever been in your corner, on your side, the way that Trade Unafraid is. Trade Unafraid is your wingman, sharpening your edge, providing you automation, discipline, and reach far beyond what you can do alone. It is easy to see how a tool like this can pay for itself month after month, year after year. And we are just getting started. Join us.